On Tuesday, October 17, 1989, the Loma Prieta Earthquake was felt from Los Angeles to the Oregon border. The cities of Santa Cruz and Watsonville, each only about 10 miles from the epicenter, sustained heavy damage as collapsing buildings killed 5 people. The earthquake destroyed 200 homes in Watsonville and damaged another 1,100, leaving over 2,000 people in tent camps and temporary shelters. Highway 17 was blocked by a massive landslide and would not completely reopen for 32 days. A collapsed bridge closed Highway 1 at Struve Slough. Highways 152, 129, and many roads in the Santa Cruz Mountains were also closed, hindering access to the areas which most needed help. And although it could not run its own printing press, a fresh copy of Watsonville's Register Pajaronian newspaper was available the day after the earthquake, October 18th. It had been printed in San Luis Obispo and flown into Watsonville Municipal Airport. In the coming days, all of Santa Cruz County would benefit from the lifeline that Watsonville Airport provided to the outside world. Within 20 hours after the earthquake, military C-130 aircraft delivered a crew of Federal Emergency Management Agency personnel who would inspect and red tag unsafe structures and evaluate the extent of the earthquake damage. Subsequent C-130 flights into Watsonville would deliver emergency supplies and retrieve FEMA personnel. California Department of Forestry helicopters used the airport as they battled several fires started by the earthquake. Army Red Cross helicopters were based at the airport, ready to evacuate earthquake victims. The Navy also flew in 2 Black Hawk helicopters carrying several tons of emergency relief supplies. To prevent further shaking of unstable buildings, the airport traffic pattern was changed to keep flights of these helicopters and all other aircraft away from the city of Watsonville. The terminal at Watsonville Airport became the staging area for FEMA workers, military officials, and medical personnel. State and federal officials also arrived by air, and the media followed. While the Federal Aviation Administration closed off Watsonville Airport to all flights except those delivering emergency relief, most incoming flights were still made in privately owned aircraft. Pilots from all around the Bay Area volunteered to deliver donated supplies to Watsonville residents in need. On Thursday, October 19th, the Food Bank of Contra Costa County asked Linda Meloche at Buchanan Field in Concord if several tons of food could be delivered to Watsonville by air. Calling on volunteer pilots, Linda organized an airlift that delivered 40,000 pounds of food in 100 flights by early Friday afternoon. Bill Dunn and John McAvoy organized an airlift from Reed Hillview Airport that began Saturday, October 21st. By Sunday evening, Reed Hillview pilots had conducted 300 flights using 80 aircraft, transporting 250,000 pounds of much-needed food, water, clothing, and camping equipment to Watsonville. Everything had been donated, including the supplies, planes, and fuel. Similar airlifts were organized out of other airports. Hamilton Army Airfield pilots flew in 28,000 pounds of supplies in less than 2 hours using 50 aircraft. Pilots from Half Moon Bay and San Carlos also participated in the airlift, delivering thousands of pounds of supplies to Watsonville. In the days following the earthquake, the tarmac at Watsonville Airport was crowded with unloading aircraft. There was so much air traffic that the FAA brought in a temporary air traffic control tower. The California Conservation Corps provided help moving the incoming supplies as 5 hangars were filled with goods destined for local disaster relief organizations. Ultimately, over 1,000 airlift flights delivered 500,000 pounds of emergency supplies to the Second Harvest Food Bank alone. Watsonville Airport provided speedy access to the county hardest hit by the Loma Prieta earthquake. And when Watsonville needed it most, hundreds of Bay Area volunteer pilots flew in emergency supplies.